Good evening and welcome to On The Bench, the only sports discussion show for Northern Lincolnshire and East Yorkshire right here on Estuary TV.
As usual, we'll be taking a look at some of the sporting headlines that have been hitting the news this week, and we'll be shining that light once again on our local sports clubs and events that are taking place right here in our area. Also coming up on the show tonight, Tom and Stu are once again here to answer your questions in a view from the Estuary, and they'll be joining us in part 2 right here on the bench for a big discussion from the weekend, of course, on that Grimsby Town game at home against Scunthorpe United. Rachel and Matt also went along to Blundell Park to speak to fans and management before and after the game. So an exciting second half for you, don't miss it. We are joined in the studio tonight by Julie Lambie, CEO of the LDO. Sounds a bit cryptic, but we will explain more later. And we're also joined by Ryan Paige, who's an athlete and runs for a local club in Cleethorpes. More with them in just a minute, but first some team talk.
Local teams too. Cleethorpes Town maintained their position at the top of the Northern Counties East League Division 1 on Saturday, taking a 2-1 home victory over Clipston. Goals coming from Lee McFarland and Darren Hanslitt for Cleethorpes, so well done to them.
But no such glory for Grimsby Borough as they went down to a 3-1 defeat at Pontefract. Lewis Grant scoring the only goal for Borough. However, they have a chance at redemption tomorrow as they face Cleethorpes Town at the Bradley FDC. Certainly a time many of us will be anticipating, and our very own Stu Cox will be down there reporting on the game for On The Bench.
I'm a Hull lad, so this one's close to my heart. Hull City got mauled 4-1 by Southampton. Yannick Sagbo getting Hull's only goal of the match. The next game is at home against Crystal Palace at home, and we'll bring you the latest from that game when it happens.
Right, time to catch up with our guests this evening. So welcome, Julie. If you can just explain for us, first of all, what the LDO is.
Well, the LDO stands for Ladies Darts Organisation, which is basically a group just aimed to promote the ladies' darts worldwide. We've got BDO and the PDC, but there isn't actually anything which is just dedicated to promoting, trying to get more TV coverage for the ladies, to boost the prize money and to basically get the ladies all joined together and working together as one.
Yeah. So what made you kind of bring this organisation to life?
I was approached in 2012 during Lakeside World Championships to highlight the fact that there wasn't any ladies' games being shown live on TV, and I was asked to do a petition. So during the week of the Lakeside World Championships, we started an online petition, and within sort of 5 to 6 days, we'd got 3,000 signatures promoting, highlighting the fact that ladies take a back seat in the darts world. We're not quite sure who made the decision to turn it around, but the BBC then showed the ladies' final of the Lakeside World Championships on the red button, which was a step in the right direction.
Yeah, so somebody was listening at least.
Yeah, because the ladies who was actually playing at Lakeside, like Trina Gulliver, Dita Hedman, basically they was very disgruntled that there wasn't going to have their game shown at all, and it would have just been in the highlights, which was a bit of a smack in the face for the ladies, to be honest.
I know you've got a website. What do you need to do to keep that running?
Basically, it's to keep the ladies playing and to get more ladies involved. Sponsorships are needed, which is always a big thing. We've got a lot of sponsorships, mainly Winmow and Red Dragon have been fantastic in actually getting behind the Ladies Darts organisation, and without them we wouldn't get the publicity we want. But what we need is more companies, bigger companies, maybe female companies, to actually get behind the Ladies Darts organisation, and which will benefit the ladies in the long run, get more prize money. And there's literally 600 ladies every month that represent their own counties who play for myself, Lincolnshire, Yorkshire, everywhere. And that is just a minority of the thousands of women that play worldwide. We've got members all over the world, from Australia to New Zealand to England, who are actually behind the Ladies Darts organisation.
So there's lots of numbers there, it's just getting that. Fantastic. Well, thank you very much for explaining that one for us. It does sound really interesting, so thank you very much. Moving on, Tom and Stu have been rounding up your questions once again, and here they are with a view from the Estuary.
Hello and welcome to this week's View from the Estuary. Now England are out of the group stage. Do you think they can win the Rugby League World Cup? If you look at the results so far, 2 wins and 1 defeat to the favourites. Not bad, is it? Not a bad return from your group matches, and obviously they've got home advantage, so I'd say yes.
Yeah, you look at every game, it's a home game for England. The game against Fiji on Saturday, it was quite good. The 6-all at half-time, they went 6-0 down as well. In the second half, they blew Fiji away quite literally with a good couple of tries there. and they're through to the next round and face the winners of France and Samoa.
How far do you think Cleethorpes Town can get in this year's FA Vase?
Well, it's a tough question to call, that one. Obviously, they've got a tough game on Saturday against Morpeth Town. The league they're in, the last 5 winners have come from that league, and it's Cleethorpes Town's first year in the FA Vase as well. That will go against them at some point in the competition.
Yeah, I mean, any cup, FA Cup, League Cup, the FA Vase Cup, if you've not been in it before, it's always going to be hard to go and win it. So making your sort of slightly debut season in this cup, and as you said, Morpeth, the division they're in, that they've produced the winners the past 5 occasions. So it's a big ask. But, you know, you do get shocks in any cup. In regards to England's preparation, are they taking the Ashes too seriously? I don't think you can take it too seriously. There is lines to be drawn, but as long as you're sort of preparing on a sporting level and not telling, you know, what trainers to wear when you go to the shop, you know what I mean? There's obviously levels and lines you need to be at. So I don't think it's too serious, no. The
question is, though, what is too serious? They've obviously got a lot in the nutrition thing, with a big menu of 186 pages being released out across Australia. So are they taking it too seriously? I don't think so. I think they just want to be in the right shape and then in the right frame of mind, ready to retain the Ashes.
Yes, possibly. Once again, then, thank you for your questions. If you have a question for us, you can tweet us at @AskEstuary.
Thanks for that, Tom and Stu. Now, Ryan, a runner at Cleethorpes Athletics Club. Just tell me a little bit about your involvement down there.
I recently joined at the end of August, just before I completed my Great North run. So I've been there 2 months, over 2 months now. So training there every Tuesday and Thursday, and obviously continuing my own training out of there. And
talking about that Great North run as well, what an achievement. How old are you?
Just turned 17.
And you've done the Great North Run.
You just
what
dropped
time did
that
you
in
complete?
really casually, didn't you?
1 hour 19 in 5 seconds.
Wow.
Well, I would never hope of doing that, so well done.
Thank you.
So your background must be from a very young age running, is it?
Yeah, I started secondary school in year 7. I did a lot of cross country there, and I was lucky enough to go to the county and English schools throughout my school years, so that really gave me a base and strived me to obviously do a lot more running when I'm older and go onto the roads.
And you've been doing quite a lot of competitions recently, haven't you?
Yes, I did the Deepdale Dash last Sunday in Barton.
It's a mouthful.
Yeah, and I finished 4th at that out of 303, so that was quite good. And the week before was the Brig 10K, and I finished 3rd. And I got a new PB out of that, and 35:32 on a very windy day, so I was very pleased.
Well, these are great achievements, especially your age, so much more to go. When you got into this and you started doing your cross country, most of the lads I knew at school, and I'm including myself in this, used to hide behind one of the trees on our cross country course. What was it about the sport that really got you going? What is it you like about running?
The winning really. I've always wanted to be the best at whatever I do, so, and I was lucky enough to always win at school, and it's just continued through my later years. So
fantastic. I liked hiding behind trees.
yeah, I was a tree hugger in those days.
So what are you training for at the moment then, Ryan?
The New Year's Day 10K Cleethorpes. So I've been training solidly for the last 8 weeks, and I've still got 50 days to keep training. I'd like to 34 minute mark for the 10K. So
wait till you're 18, you won't want to be doing anything on New Year's Day. It'll be a completely different
I didn't know how
story.
to approach that one, Rachel. You certainly won't be able to let your hair down too much with the Christmas pudding, will you, on Christmas Day? Fantastic achievements, though.
It's not been all sort of plain sailing, though, haven't you? You've had a bit of controversy in terms of the age group that you've been competing in.
Yeah, before the Great North Run, I was in the under-17 category, and the Great North was on the 15th of September, and while I completed it, I was still in the under-17 category, and after the race, I had the fastest time in the country for that age.
Fantastic.
So,
we've got to go to a break now, but joining us in the second half, Tom and Stu will be here in the studio to discuss the action from Saturday's FA Cup clash. See you in a few minutes. Welcome back to On the Bench. Well, it seems like we're being inundated at the moment with local derbies. Of course, the big one last week was Grimsby Town versus Scunthorpe United, a fixture of great importance, especially here in North East Lincolnshire, and pride to supporters, of course, on both sides. We went to speak to fans ahead of the game to find out some predictions and who they thought would be man of the match.
It's been the talk of the area ever since it was announced, and this FA Cup first round tie is sure not to disappoint. Grimsby Town against Scunthorpe United here at Blundell Park. It's the first time that these two teams have met competitively since 2008 and the first in the FA Cup in 30 years. So it's going to be a tasty fixture, and there'll be a lot of fans here that are soaking up the derby atmosphere for the first time ever. Mariners against the Irons. Kick-off's 1 o'clock, and we've sent Matt out to find out how both sets of fans are feeling ahead of kick-off.
So tell me, boys, what's the score today?
2-1.
2-1 Town.
2-1 Town.
I reckon it's going to be 3-1 Town, up the Mariners.
Up the Mariners. What do you reckon, son?
Sam, 2-1 Town.
We've actually collared a Scunthorpe fan. Please tell us, what do you think the score's going to be today?
I think it'll be a 2-2 draw.
2-2 draw. Why is that? Do you want us back at your place to beat you?
Yeah, get a bit more money for both of us.
Hey, that's a good idea, isn't it? 2-all.
I think we both need it.
We do.
2-2, I think, that'll be a fair result.
I reckon 2-1 Town.
2-1 Town.
I reckon 0-0 ball draw.
What good's that?
Well, it's not good for anyone, but we get a replay and go to their ground.
Okay, what, make a bit more money for the club?
A bit more money for the club, might be a TV as well.
I reckon 2-0 Scunny.
2-0 Scunny. Yeah. Optimist.
I think 3-1 Scunny.
3-1 Scunny. Why? Have you seen them play well this season?
Yeah, it's been doing all right.
Not many people have.
I think 2-1 to Town.
Everyone seems to be thinking 2-1, yeah, you reckon?
1-0 to Grimsby.
1-0 to Grimsby.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people thinking 2-1. Do you think it's going to be a tough game?
No, I think it'll be 1-0.
We're going to have it.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
Enjoy the game.
Nice to see you.
Thank you. So basically what you're all saying is it's going to be a Scunny win.
Of course, we won't be here if you won.
Oh, okay, guys, enjoy the game, all right?
I'll tell you what, if Scunny lose, right, Laws gets sacked.
And we're joined now by our resident pundits, Tom Reed and Stu Cox. Boys, the game ended 0-0. Was it a fair reaction on the game?
I think it was, yeah. I mean, Grimsby had the best part of the first half. Second half, Scunthorpe were more in the game, but Grimsby defended well and, you know, kept Scunthorpe at bay. So, 0-0, I think.
Yeah, it was a tale of missed opportunities for both sides. Grimsby had their fair share in the first half at least. Scunthorpe came back into the game into the second half and almost stole it towards the end with that Burton header.
Now, I did mention it was a big fixture for both teams, and it really was, wasn't it? Even with the scoreline as it was, a big game for the local area.
Yeah, before the game, we're speaking to the fans, and some of them were quite optimistic. Obviously, this game's, comes around once every blue moon kind of thing, so they were like, it's a huge game, and they were, quite optimistic about this one.
So, who were you rooting for, lads?
I've got to say Grimsby Town.
Yeah, same.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Can't deny it.
No.
Would you think the bias was definitely in Grimsby's favour on the day then?
No, not from my point of view. You've got to give Scunthorpe credit. They're a league side, obviously where they are for a reason. So you've got to take that into account. So even game, I thought, before the match.
Yeah, and obviously Grimsby have done well because they're in the league below, and Scunthorpe are pushing for League 2 playoff positions at the moment. So it was a good game all round.
I mean, going back to Glanford Park now, do you think Grimsby have lost the advantage being at home, or do you think we can take the game to them?
I have to say, sort of, the onus is now on Scunthorpe to attack. Now they're at home, so I think Grimsby will be the underdogs, if you like. So they've got nothing to lose in the replay. They've done themselves proud in this first leg, if you like. So they can go there and attack. They've got nothing to lose.
I think the pre-match in the replay as well will be quite interesting because before the game at Blundell Park, Brian Laws was a bit edgy on what he was saying. Paul Hirst was very laid back and basically turned around and said, "You're playing Scunthorpe, how do you feel?" Turned around and was like, "Yeah, and just took it in his own stride. Maybe the other, in the replay, it's going to be the other way around. Brian Laws will be like that and Paul Hirst will be a bit edgy. There's a lot to lose now.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it was a difficult situation for Brian Laws coming back to, obviously, Grimsby. Yeah. It was a kind of interesting situation for him to be in, but the team's definitely kind of brought the game up and it delivered for the fans. It was a brilliant game to watch.
Oh, fantastic game.
Like you say, a lot of missed opportunities, but definitely one for the future.
So talking about the fans, you guys normally do a view from the estuary. You're sat in a studio somewhere, you're looking at tweets and you're answering tweets to a camera. How nice was it for you to actually talk to the fans and actually get down there and
it was great.
Have a word?
You get to meet different kinds of people. You meet some old boys who've been going for 50 odd years. You've got someone going to their first match maybe. So they'll see it differently. So it's great to meet those kind of people.
And how nice was it to see that ground, Blundell Park, full as well?
For the first time in ages, really. It's a shame it's not like that every week. If it was, Grimsby might not be in the conference. It might be in, who knows, League 1, League 2, maybe even the Championship again. But I think it's on the onus of it all. You've got to look at, they can't play Scunthorpe every week. It's a shame. But some of the away following in the conference isn't as good. And you can't have 46 local derbies a season.
Yeah, I mean, both managers were really pleased, you know, in the press conference after, which we'll see in a minute. Both managers were really pleased with the result and the way their teams played and conducted themselves. Do you think that will be the same for Scunthorpe? Do you think there's going to be an advantage swinging Scunthorpe's way, or how do you feel it? How do you see it going?
It's definitely going to be tougher for Grimsby at Glanford Park. Last time we went there, it was a dismal 2-0 defeat. We can't let that happen again. But they seem to be a lot more defensively stronger now. Yeah, they're in the league below, but some of the players who Grimsby have certainly have league qualities, and it will be tough for Scunthorpe again.
I mean, final question though, guys. The spotlight was well and truly on this region last week with this big local derby. How well did we do as a region, do you think?
Well, we got the biggest gate for the first round of the FA Cup, so that was already a spotlight on the match kind of thing. So I think all eyes on the replay, definitely.
I think so too. Whilst at Blundell Park, as Rachel's mentioned, we also heard from the managers of both sides. Here's what they thought.
I think that's as good a 0-0 game that you're going to get. You know, a fantastic atmosphere. And we said to the players going into the game, you just hope that they don't freeze and that they put on a performance that, you know, I think they're capable of. And, you know, credit to them, they certainly did that. I thought they were exceptional. And really, I thought we had the better of large parts of that game and probably should have won it. You know, the keeper's made a few good saves. We've wasted a couple of chances ourselves. But, you know, credit to them, they hung in there and they had a good spell towards the end of the game when they could have nicked it. I think both teams had chances. I just felt we had, you know, the slightly better ones.
I'm pleased to be in the hat again, that's for sure. You know, this was typical of an FA Cup game against the local rivals. It's blood and thunder today, and I think that had all the ingredients. Fantastic atmosphere, and I think it lived up to its expectations in terms of, you know, its endeavour. And the only thing that was probably lacking was that last bit of quality in the last third from both parties.
I am that, you know, we haven't managed to win it. I'll have some more of that because that was enjoyable for me because, again, that credit to the players because they made me enjoy it by showing what they can do. And it was you know, I'd love to manage in front of that sort of crowd every week, and I'm sure the players would love to play in front of that. We know that's not going to happen. And that's the other side and the message to the players. We've got to reach those levels of performance week in, week out. If we manage to do that, then we give ourselves, you know, a great opportunity of being successful.
At the end of the day, you know, the important thing is if you can't win the game, make sure you don't lose it. I think that's, you know, and for our own benefits more than anything else, because we feel that if we're at home, we've got a really good chance. And you know, I thought the fans were brilliant today. Both sets were very, very good, very vocal. Long time since that's happened for a while. Hopefully we'll have a solid gate again a week on Tuesday. But again, it'll be keenly fought and contested all over the park, and hopefully a bit of quality in the end will get us through that. But you know, Grimsby will certainly have a large say in that matter. You know, they've worked extremely hard today.
Paul Hirst certainly seemed happier with the draw than Laws there. Lots of praise for the fans as well.
Yeah, well, that's all we've got time for. But before we go, a quick shout out to Tina McKay and Leslie Parry, who of course joined us on the bench a few weeks ago ahead of their participation in the Polar Circle Marathon. That sounds hard, doesn't it? With two of the members of Cleethorpes Athletics Club as well. I'm delighted to say that all four ladies finished the race and all within very, very impressive times as well. Well done to them.
And thanks to Ryan Paige and Julie Lambie, Tom Reed and Stu Cox for joining us in the studio. And thanks to you for watching. We'll be back next week and we hope to see you then. Goodbye.
Goodbye.